Hello again. Welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. This is your Kentucky Derby 151 March to May update. So the month of March, we are marching toward that big day. Big things coming for Billy Ho Sports. So I just wanted to thank everybody for all your support, all the comments and the feedback. Your enthusiasm, encouragement have motivated me to be better. So let's keep things going. Marching to 3K subscribers too. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. Much appreciated. And click that like while you're at it. And we're not going to go in any order. This is a top 10 list, but we're going to cover a few more horses, honorable mention types, and then you'll have to stick around to the end for the big reveal. So let's do it. We are going to move from left to right on your radio dial, like they used to say in the old days. West Coast is boasting the top level talent, and none other than Bob Baffert has his hands on several, as you'll hear. So, anyway, Citizen Bull, the 2-year-old champion, won the RB Lewis even after a stumble at the break, beat both his stablemates, Rodriguez, Matticat Road, which we saw Matticat Road run a monster race in the Rebel, only to lose to Cole Battle. Then I imagine we'll see him run in the Santa Anita Derby for the final prep. So even with all the hype around Barnes, Bob Baffert still considers the Big Bull his top choice. Oh, FYI, a respected journalist by the name of Steve Haskins, as we move into Barnes, uh, the San Felipe, it was reported by him that Barnes lost a shoe at the start of the race. It kind of looked like it to me, but I couldn't tell either way. I thought that his stride looked a little weird. Then I went back and looked at some other races, and his stride down the stretch looks kind of weird. So he is definitely an impressive colt with an unconventional gait. But I mean, if he did indeed lose a shoe at the start of the San Felipe, he ran 105 Beyer on 3 legs. So sometimes losing a shoe can be detrimental. Depends on how it comes off. If it comes off smooth, they can run with it. So he's got some work to do in the final prep as he didn't get the full 25 for the second place finish in that race. So he still needs another big finish to even get in the Derby. That moves me to journalism, which is Mike McCarthy's big chance at a Derby horse. And the way he closed out to catch Barnes in the San Felipe was remarkable. Whopping 108 Beyer figure for that one. A son of Curlin should eventually win a Kentucky Derby. Maybe this is his time. I don't know. He's proved he's more than ready, and that San Felipe showed it coming off the long layoff. So here we go. Another one is from Bob Baffert Barn is Getaway Car, and not really highly touted among the Bafferts horses, but looked good and improving every race. So 4th place in the juvenile, which wasn't too bad. He nearly beat journalism in the Los Alamitos. Then the breakthrough race was the Sunland Derby, where he finally did get the W, and he was on the lead the whole way and repelled a big challenge, beat Caldera in a head bob contest. So this is a son of Curlin who doesn't back down either. So we're looking at a son of Curlin this year, maybe winning the race. So let's shift gears over to the Midwest and to our Derby points leader, the overlooked Cole Battle. Lonnie Briley, best 3-0 prospect of his career, and he's ready to go. After the Springboard Mile, he surprised us all at Oaklawn, winning the first prep, then running it back and winning again the big prep, which was the Rebel, and that 50-point win vaulted him past Citizen Bull for the top spot in the points race. So another horse in that race, people are real high on, Sandman, who got bet down big time in the last Derby pool futures. Finished mildly disappointing third. He was supposed to have a better trip and close again, which he did, but he just didn't. He just seems to be a little too late on the closing efforts there. Too far back to get Cole Battle in that one. He did come from last, 9 lengths back, and chewed up a lot of ground. I think he's going to be kind of one of those pace dependent type horses. So speaking of which, Caldera lost a head bob to getaway car in that Sunland Derby. He came from off the pace to put a hell of a drive together and hit him at the top of the stretch. And a lot of moxie in that race for a Dwayne Lucas colt. And it's probably his last chance to get a Derby starter. But he races his colts into shape, and most of his Derby trailers are on their like seventh, eighth, ninth starts. Well, this one is just going to make his fifth start next time he runs. So I would imagine in the next couple of races, you'll see Caldera making some improvements. Okay, East Coast has something to say now. So if you watch me on YouTube, I was pretty high on Sovereignty coming into the Fountain of Youth. He'd been off since last October when he won the Street Sense, but he did miss some training time and passed on the Juvie. And you'd think he would need one to get going. Nope. He was off the pace in the Fountain of Youth. He did drop back a little bit, but he unleashed a furious rally and hit the stretch, caught River Thames down the stretch, and got things done there. So he's got two things that I like going for him is a stakes win at Churchill and prepping in Florida having success. So if he runs in the Florida Derby, which has produced quite a few Derby winners, you'll see he's on that trend. Captain Cook, the winner of the Withers, is the Rick Dutrow top contender. And it's been a long time. It's been like since 1981 Pleasant Colony that a horse prepping out of New York or Aqueduct won the Derby. He's bred to handle classic distances, and he's probably going to go in the Wood Memorial coming up on April 5th. So we'll see if Captain Cook can get her done. Burnham Square is another one. That's Ian Wilkes, trained. Decided to add blinkers to this Liam's map colt, and he responded with a 9-length victory. Then he next came out and won that Holy Bull, which looked very good. But then it kind of so in the Fountain of Youth. But he's moving on from Florida. At least my opinion, he is headed to April 5th, Bluegrass in Kentucky. That's what I'm guessing. He's a smooth striding horse, though. I'd like to get another look at him. Definitely. I think maybe he had some issues with the Sandy Gulfstream track. I don't know. Anyway, River Thames did look great after that race in the Fountain of Youth. Did exactly what he needed to do to win the race, but just could not get it done. He tracked the leader in a pressing position, took command down the stretch, but was ultimately caught, obviously, by Sovereignty. And being foaled into April, he's a little bit on the young side, still growing and improving. So, unlike horses that maybe fold in February, he's 2 months younger. So another one, actually going to be racing in the Virginia Derby. Go check out my Virginia Derby preview video that came out yesterday. It's a good one. John Hancock, winner of the Sam F. Davis. Real battle down the stretch, but Pratt was keeping him close until the right time to surge, I think, anyway. And then he won by a half. The runner up and show horses are both very formidable and could crack the top 10 by April. You never know. Oh, and Almighty was one of those horses really coming into his own, obviously, as you saw in the Tampa Bay Derby. He was runner up last fall to Jonathan's Way at Churchill in the Iroquois. Then he made his 2025 debut in the Pasco Stakes, where he won but was DQ'd with kind of a shady call by the stewards there, in my opinion. But anyway, he left no doubt in the Tampa Derby. He went right to the lead, shut him down. We've been discussing it on X. Maybe his brother Jose on Brodeur made a little bit of a shady kind of maneuver, pushing Patch Adams to even wider around the first turn, but that didn't matter. It was ultimately he did look back. He blew them all out down the stretch. So, oh, well, let's not forget Magnolia, New Orleans. As Magnolia is out, that old rapper Juvenile used to say, back it up. Few contenders taking that route. Disco Time from the Juddamont Stables, trained by Brad Cox, was awesome in the under the lights at Fairgrounds a while back on the wet track in the LeCompte. That was 20 points, which makes a bid to the Derby nothing more than hitting the board, probably in the Louisiana Derby. If he could get a second place finish there, he's gravy. So in the Lecomte, he passed Built, who's another good horse, right at the wire. Then Built, being trained by Wayne Catalano, that one's by Hard Spun. Also ran third in the Risen Star, so he's one that people might be overlooking a little bit. He was firmly in second until he got clipped late. That was that race decided by Magnitude, who was way ahead of everybody. 100K maiden win, Gunrunner win, lost by a neck in the Lecomte, third in the Risen. So not too bad a resume, is good or better than a lot of them being touted, and they haven't proven anything. So interesting to see where Jonathan's way goes, but he was slated to run in the Risen Star, scratched out, had an unsatisfactory blood count. He was installed as the morning line favorite in that race. So yet to run as a 3 year old. So I can't see him making the top 10 list just yet because he really hasn't done much since the fall. The Iroquois win and the Kentucky Jockey Club runner ups both bode well for his liking the Churchill Downs surface. So he could be an interesting candidate, probably potential long shot in the Kentucky Derby if he gets there. Now, over up north in Gotham City, Flood Zone established himself as a contender by winning the Gotham Stakes, banking those valuable 50 points, which locks up a spot in the Derby. Brad Cox hit pay dirt on this one. He claimed it right after the state bred winner for 50K. Well deserving jock in Ray Gutierrez. Gonna maybe get his second mount in the run for the Roses. So that's kind of cool. Now, we're getting down to the last few that I'll mention. The one is East Avenue, ain't making my list. He's been given the benefit of the doubt, making excuse after excuse. He had no excuse in the Risen Star. He just hasn't been getting it done since that big win in the Futurity last fall at Keeneland. So I don't know what's going on with him. But the lastly, it's going to be Chancellor McPatrick, who just lit it up, winning multiple grade ones in New York as a juvenile, and then he was kind of just run off the track in the juvenile, BC juvenile. So I was waiting his 3 year old debut. I thought he was in a good spot at the Tampa Derby, and he did secure the ground saving trip. Had the rail down the stretch, but just couldn't corral Owen Almighty, who was much the best that day. So we've covered multiple horses. Now let's narrow it down to 10. I'm just going to go through this real quickly and we'll wrap it up. I'm going number one, Citizen Bull. To me, until he loses, he's number one. We'll put Journalism at number two. That strong pedigree, stamina on both sides, pressing style, should prove well at Churchill. We'll go number three, Sovereignty. Similar to Journalism, could be T2. Those two are very close, in my opinion. Similar styles, impressive closing wins recently. Then you have Barnes. Can't dismiss that 105 buyer in the San Felipe. If he actually lost a shoe in that race, that's pretty impressive. So I want to see him train him up to improve that gallop a little bit so he doesn't look so weird. And then number five, you can't have a top five without Cole Battle. He's the points leader. He's done nothing wrong but win races after race after race. So continuing to impress, Cole Battle five. Number six, I'm putting Owen. Owen Almighty has proven himself, in my opinion, dominant Tampa Bay Derby, breaking from the one post. Broke sharp, took the lead. He looked totally dialed in that one. Peeled out and left them all in the dust on the way home. Uh, None of the rest of them were a match for the son of Spatestown. So number seven, we're going to make that Flood Zone. And that's it seems crazy, but two races at Gulfstream were striking. Then he goes up to the Gotham and blows them out. Sharp to the lead, showing no fear. I did speak on him that the public discounted this horse in every race, and he went off at like 17-1 in that race. So he just continues to prove them wrong. Took down a very good horse in Sand Devil in that race. We're going to go getaway car for number eight for all you Swifties out there. Anyway, getting better and better. Sunland Derby winner, now on his way to maybe being the post down favorite in the Virginia Derby. If he gets it done in Virginia Derby, I mean, he's like amongst the top five horses in points. He's well deserving of a top 10 ranking. in my opinion. Then we're going to go number 9. It's Cornucopian, which is another Bob Baffert horse. May not have heard much about this one. He just made his speed or just made his debut of just a few weeks back. Ran a monster 102 buyer. That is a rare and remarkable achievement that shows he's got that kind of talent to get a triple digit buyer in your debut race. So we're gonna round it out with Chancellor McPatrick. The second in the Tampa Bay Derby was good enough to get him enough points. He'll be in the Kentucky Derby, but he was couldn't close any ground on Owen Almighty. He might just be pace dependent or something. I'm not really sure where he's going to land on that. There were horses last year like Catching Freedom that were kind of like pressers, closers, changing different tactics. He was a little more on the pace rather than closing, more of a stalking role. Still couldn't get there, so maybe a change in venue might make the difference. Maybe he could go up to the Bluegrass or something and get it done at Keeneland. We'll see, but that rounds out your top 10 current contenders. So, yes, Bob Baffert has 4 horses in my top 10, but everybody else is probably going to have at least 3. So leave a comment and tell me who you have differently. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.